Well, welcome back to Indira's World, where we are not going to be cooking today. I just thought, hey, I want the day off. So I thought, why not take a glimpse into my real world, apart from my cooking world, which is my farm, and where I rescue animals. And you're going to meet most of them, hopefully. That's if they listen to me, which isn't very often. So let's get on with this, shall we? Starting with my doggies. But first, like everything good in life, starts with a coffee.
My sweet Lord, my sweet Lord, my Lord.
Well, I've actually got, at the moment, 5 dogs, but at one given time I have had 8. My dogs are usually rescues. That was my very first painting of Elvis. He was a Basset. I named him that because he was nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Let me start with Lady Gaga, seeing as she's been in the news a lot lately. Now, Gaga came to me from Cyprus. She changed a few homes. She was abandoned and practically left for dead and was rescued by a lovely lady called Sophia. Sophia's cat didn't get on with Gaga, so she came to live with me. She is beautiful. She's a good girl. She's just the most beautiful, beautiful little girl ever. Come, Gaga, come up. Come and show them how pretty you are. Oh, she's a lovely girl. And like you can see, all my, I've had dogs named after musicians always. I've had an Otis Redding, Ringo Starr, Lulu, Elvis Presley, David Cassidy, Louis Armstrong, and Lady Gaga. And here, where is my Ella Fitzgerald? Come to Mummy. You are such a good girl. Ella's my little old lady. She's over 10 now, and she lost her twin, Louis, a year and a half ago, Louis Armstrong. So Ella is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. All my dogs seem to be rather tiny little ones. They don't grow to their full length, except of course my big ones, which I will introduce to you in a minute. Ella came to me in a little Tesco bag, and so did her twin. They came out and they were literally, I could hold one in each palm when they arrived here, and she's been with me ever since. She sleeps in my bed, as does Gaga and Madonna. The other 2 sleep in another bed, but usually they do wake us up about 5 times in the night. I highly recommend that if you have dogs, make sure that they are respectful of your sleeping hours, unlike mine. So I shall now introduce you to my Madonna. She is a beagle, and the chances are Madonna will probably expect me to go to her. The chances of her coming to me are minimal, if not absolutely 0%, but let's try. So needless to say, being a beagle, she has a temperament of her own, an attitude of her own. She's come to me from the Isle of Wight. Haven't you, baby girl? Are you the prettiest girl in the world? One of them, Mummy. Now, she won't leave the radiator because she just can't be bothered. She has her rules and we go by her rules because she's Madonna. This is Miss Madonna Ciccone. She's very pretty. Donnie, say hi to everyone, darling. Be good. Who's Mummy's little Donnie bear? She's a very sweet girl. All the way from the Isle of Wight, aren't you? But what about that one from Cyprus, huh? Gaga has a passport. She came all the way from Cyprus. I have to say, I've had lots of breeds and lots of different animals, but I think Bassets and Beagles are not trainable. And I even had the Rasputin of dog trainers once trying to help me out with Elvis, and I actually gave up. I think with Madonna, I can't say I give up. She's not as naughty as Elvis was, but she definitely is very stubborn, so bear in mind if ever you get a beagle. I think rescues are beautiful because they love you unconditionally, like all animals do anyway. But you know you've given them something that they would never have had. When I heard that the Gaga was literally skin and bones and all her fur had all gone, and recently during Christmas she was lying on my bed on a velvet bedspread with her head on a cushion, a Christmas cushion, and I sent it to the lady who brought her over, Sophia, and she sent it to the animal rescue in Cyprus, and they could not believe that she had landed up over here to such a lovely home. She has had a new lease for life, and I always recommend, before you get a dog, decide definitely if that's what you want. They are children that never grow up, so you have to look after them always, and you've got to love them the way they love you. Now we're going to meet the two big boys, boy and girl should I say, Axel and Rose, named after Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses. And they are crosses between Akitas and retrievers, but they are more retrievers, huggy bears. And they came to me on Valentine's Day a couple of years ago. They moved homes and were brought to me by a friend of mine, Val and Shora, my friends, who I am eternally grateful, because they are just lovely. And come and meet my big bears now. Come, come. And here's Axel, and here's little Rosie. Axel, Rose, Rosie. Now, can you see the Akita coloring on them and the retriever? But needless to say, they are absolutely useless. They are just addicted to love and addicted to cuddles, and more than everything, they are addicted to food. Aki, Axel doesn't want mummy. What's the matter? Living with dogs is, as I said, children that never grow up, but also there's something about the therapy you get out of petting a dog. I've been in rehab before, and one of the things I swear by is petting my dog is one way of calming myself. Having suffered from depression for years, one of my cures now, I mean, I really believe I am out of everything, is cuddling my dogs, looking after my horses, living on the farm, cooking for all of you, and the wonderful family I have around me. When I had 8 dogs, it was quite funny when we fed them, because we'd have them lined up and line up these 8 little bowls. But now we feed them in different parts of the house, because some eat quicker than the other, as in the beagle, and then she will take away other people's food. Also, as they're different ages, they sometimes have to have different foods. Like Ella's, over 10, and so she has soft food rather than harder food. The other 3 are very active, Axel, Rose, and Gaga, so they get more youngsters' food kind of thing. And the beagle will eat everything, including me. So you have to be a bit careful when you're feeding them. It's expensive, and when you have dogs, please remember there are vet bills. And if there are vet bills, it's always sensible to have insurance. More than anything, one thing they need more than anything else, not just a warm bed and good food and someone to look after them or to walk them, it's love, and it has to come from you. That's enough about my dogs now. Let's go out and meet my horses and the goats. So follow me. Okay, now we're going to go check out my horses. I'm going to introduce you to them if and when they get in. But onwards and upwards to the stables. They've been cleaned out this morning with us. It's hard work getting the stables clean, needless to say, making their beds, which are all ready for them. I'll get their feeds ready on the way back so that they can come in later this evening. Okay, we're off to see my horses now. These 3 are rescues. One was rescued after being beaten badly by 2 owners in a row. He's my Welsh club, Chand. They call Chand, Tara and Aftab, which is the sun stars and the moon stars in sun in Hindi, a song my mum used to sing to me about the beauty of the sun, moon and stars. And she always told me that she loved me like the sun, moon and stars and salt. It's a long story about the salt, but there you go. Have you had a good run in the mud, Chand? Okay, here's Chand, the moon, and as you can see, he's got patches, and this is a rescue from Ireland. This is Aftab, which is the sun, and they've all come to me for years now. They go out in the daytime, they come in the nights, and in the summer it's the other way around. They come in the daytime because it's hot, and then they go out at night. And Tara has decided to be a naughty little mare and not come. But today the farrier was supposed to come in, but because of the pandemic, we cancelled on him. They'll come in later and they'll get warm hose down and put their little blankets on, what I call their pajamas. You get into your Jimmy Jamanas, don't you? Yes, you get into your Jimmy Jamanas. And then from there, they get a good night's rest and a nice little meal. Tara has decided not to come, as you can see. That's enough now. You can have the rest later, okay? He's lost a bit of weight at the moment, and I am concerned about it. But as you can see, his appetite hasn't really gone down. Okay, so I've lived here for 20 years now. I went out for a run one day from my other house, and I came across a sign saying Willow Farm for sale, and here I am. And I started rescuing animals 20 years ago. At one time there were 12 horses on this property, and I had all sorts of birds as well. I've had a series of dogs over here who've lived a very happy, stress-free life. It's 42 acres of land that they enjoy. Needless to say, the dogs don't need to be walked too often because they just go and do their own thing. It's beautiful. It's very close to central London, so I have the joys of being in the West End when I want to go and see a play, and then when I want to play with the horses, I'm here. And as you can see, she is a typical mare. She will come when she wants to come. Women are like that. It's all about what we want. So I'm going to take you now to my stables where I get them all ready, the stables each day. They're mucked out, cleaned out and disinfected. Of course, I have to go through this slushy thing, which is absolutely wonderful every day. Thank God these boots can go get hosed down and then thrown in the washing machine. I give them a top feed at night. So as you can see, my two little followers are behind me. Santa's little helpers that destroy everything. Here we are in the stables. This is for the Shetlands, so they have their own little hutch where they can look out and say hello to Mummy. Now, this is where I get my feeds. So, yeah, now this is kind of what we mix up for them. Oh, I just feed them in the night when they come in. It's a treat that they've come into, so they're good little horses that come in. The farrier comes in once a month to do their feet. In the pandemic, they're having a pedicure more often than I am, to be honest. If you look at my hands, never been like this. This is called a manger, and you stick the foods in there. For the little ones, you don't, because they can't reach. The Shetlands. I'll bung a bit of that in there. When they come in, they get a nice little treat. Chant gets a little bit less because he's a bit chunky. Aftab is older and losing weight, so he kind of gets a bit more. Tara gets about the same. Apart from getting their feet done, needless to say, the vets come in whenever there's a problem. I mean, when I've had problems, the vet bills, they are insured, the big ones, but the Shetlands aren't, and your bills can go up to thousands of pounds depending on the x-rays and so on and so forth. But it's the price you pay for looking after them. This is the hay nets. Now when they're sitting in their stables and getting bored, obviously they'll be munching hay outside, they'd be munching the grass if they were outside, so you give them something to munch. Because they don't have meals. They're used to grazing. They're not used to having fixed meals. So you have to give them something to chew on all the time. Also, it does keep them from being bored. So you have to have little ways of them. If you just chuck it all down, sometimes they just get bored. So this way they pull bits of hay out of there and they have a bit of a nibble. So I'm done in here now. I'm going to get myself a cup of tea and come back and finish up on the other stables. A woman's work is never done, as they say. Well, that's it from here today. And don't forget to subscribe to Indira's World if you haven't. And definitely give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed today. I know it's a bit of a change from cooking food, but hey, it's all part of the life. And I don't know about any of you, but I wouldn't swap this for anything else. I hope you've had a good week, and I hope you have a good week coming up. And I know this is a tough time for everybody, but this is what makes the world go round. A bit of love.
You wanna be with